Welcome to the Flat Earth Debate Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also a coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patrons, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So, a massive shout of thanks and appreciation to Felis Mengus, Smith Tools and Purchase, Level Plain Poem, Vitali Z, Colton James, Effie Patriot, Thomas van der Zander, Measured Flat, Chris Wouters, Smear in the Shire, Mitch Kennedy, Rod the Names Burley, J Mel's 24, Unimento, Iron 26, Retro Bill, John Kays, Patrick Gunnels, Banter, Hairy Blade, Mobile Max 777, Rob W, Del West Watson, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Abraham Mohammed, Skeptic 936, Texas Mike, Chow Yun Cat, David Wayne Foster, and Dank. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Links, as I say, to Patreon are below this video. And with that, I will hand across to whoever is in Discord and Google so you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for today's live show.
Yeah, you don't sound like it was.
Everything's roses.
Really? Well, it sounds like wilted roses.
All right, the Meet link is here, so I will leave Discord and join Meet.
Okay, well, I'm going to go and join in the link as well. Guys, I shall speak to you later on. Nice one, Steve. Welcome. Good. Is it good morning to you, Steve?
Hey, good morning, Jen. Good morning.
Yeah.
Morning, you guys.
Yeah. I was just saying, how was your weekend?
Good.
Excellent. Glad to hear it.
Been a lot of rain.
Yeah. Well, we've had a mild weather. Nice. We're approaching winter. We've had 18 to 20 degrees during the day. Early morning from last week, it was like at 7. Then it went up to like 10 in the morning, nice and mild. So it's not bad for this time of year. Yeah. No rain yet, but I'm sure it's coming. Yeah. We got problems with bear attacks here in Japan, in the northern regions.
What kind of attacks?
Bear.
Yeah.
And they're resulting to killing them, which I think is a terrible decision to do because they've got the military. You could bring the military in with the tranquilizer guns, tranquilize the bear, and just ship them back. We don't have to kill the animal.
Okay, what kind of bear, Jen?
These bears, I think they're just like the black ones or the brown ones. One of them.
You think that story is true?
What, that everyone loves the white
That's
ones?
a good question. I think it's true. I mean, 10 people have died this year, they said. You know, and they've had up to 200 attacks throughout the year. So, I mean, I didn't see the dead bodies, if that's what you mean. No, I didn't see the dead bodies. No. But, I mean, even if it is true, then obviously the method they're using to, as in killing the bear, that's not a good thing. Hopefully they didn't kill the bear, but, you know, I mean, that's what they've said. They've given the authority ahead to kill bears when they've come into the city neighborhoods. Go ahead.
It's like we're invading. Like they're just acting naturally. We're invading their space, and we expect things to be different.
Yeah,
You know what was funny?
Well.
Like, listen to this, Jen. There's these hockey players, right? That were I think it was in Alaska somewhere, right? Now, are you familiar with the sporting events? How sometimes they have that the crazy fan that dresses in a costume
Yeah.
Well, this one particular fan, they have this big-headed like baseball, right? Now they stumbled across a bear while they were fishing, and the bear just kept walking. And I said, "Yeah, probably because the bear was like never seen anything like that.
That's right.
They're lucky somebody was dressed up like that. Because if he would have just seen two people, he would have took care of business. It was one of them grizzly bear too. You know, they stand up,
Right.
they're like freaking 15 feet tall, swat your head off with one swipe.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
wins, a silverback gorilla or a grizzly bear?
I think the grizzly bear, of course.
See, I'm on the other
Bigger.
side. I think the silverback gorilla has got more intelligence and he will beat him down.
Oh, I didn't hear the word intelligence. I thought you meant which was more ferocious.
No, in a fight, who's going to win?
Yeah.
I think a
Yeah, I
silverback
think the
gorilla will win in a
silverback
fight.
gorilla is more intelligent. Yeah, I would have to say. But I was talking to my students today, and I said to them that I think man has failed in this regard because we are the custodians of this earth. That's what we were put here to do. Right now, if the bears are coming in looking for food, it means something's gone wrong where they live. Let's go and check what's wrong with their food supply. We don't kill them, and they don't mean to kill human beings. They're just acting instinctively. If we're going to coexist, then we need to put some wire fencing around, where it's possible, and go and check their food and make sure they've got enough food. And use the army to do all this. This is what your army is for. Go and got an army. There's no wars going on. All this training, but they're not doing the jobs where they could help society. They're not being utilized well enough, as far as I'm concerned. That's a military job. Give them the tranquilizer guns, shoot the bear down, and then send it back home. Ship it back home in a truck, or
Costs
lift
too
it up
much
by
money for
helicopter
that,
if it's
Jim.
necessary. Sorry.
Costs too much money for that.
Yeah, that's probably what they're thinking. But yeah, you're right there. I mean, that's probably what they're thinking. But that's silly. How much money is it going to cost? You're talking a couple of tranquilizer guns, right? And then the fuel to ship it out. How much money is that? They're getting paid every day anyway, and they're doing bugger all. So I don't, because my students actually said that, and I said I don't see the expenditure increasing. No way. That's their job. They get paid every day, right? So if they get paid every day, do your job. Start protecting your country. And the fuel is there, already paid for by the taxpayer. So there should be no initial cost. All the fuel is there.
You got to bring a helicopter in to bring them out. You need men for that.
Yeah.
Whereas a gun, boom, 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 dead. Let nature take its course. 3-4 bullets, maybe 5-6 with a bear of size. Depends on what type of gun you're using. Anyway, I think we should get off this subject. How we looking
Why?
on Flat Earth? Because the nonsense I've been hearing over the weekend, the way this topic is being argued in 2026, that's the thing. It's still being argued when there is no argument. It's driving me nuts. I can't even sit in another server for more than 5 minutes because it's constantly doing the same freaking thing. The person that causes the baller, they become a baller with them. Only to tell them how much of a ball they will never be able to see.
Sorry, Neil. They're not becoming a baller. What's happening is you're seeing the magic trick. The magic trick was make all flat earthers argue against a ball. So what you end up doing as a flatty, and it is in sincerity flatties that you're referring to, they've been trained, close your ears, Jin, to say things like we see too far, right? To say the ball works like this, but it fails like that. So you become a glorified heliocentrist in terms of your unpicking of heliocentric rhetoric, which just means you're going through heliocentric rhetoric. Now, when you say they become a baller, no, they've been trained to be empathetic to the ball cause by highlighting its failures, rather than what we do now and have done for the last couple of years, which is say, here's how Earth's measured, check it out, it's flat. And then not say anything else. Now, that's a very new school way of doing things that isn't prevalent in the general arena of flat Earth. Quite the contrary. We're a tiny little organisation of people trying to convince people around us that they don't need to argue about the ball anymore. But these same people that you're calling ballers in flat Earth clothing are trained to be on the ball in the first place and then trained to be coming off the ball so that it's all ball, 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 ball. And you can't but help but see the magic trick now. That's all that's happening.
Yeah, I get that. I understand. Maybe I should say they go on the ball with them. But here's the difference. You may take a shot at gin, but gin always goes to measurements. This is the problem I have. They never get them to the measurements. I didn't hear it once all weekend. It's fine. You want to argue that way backwards, take the ball away, fine. But get to the damn measurements.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the gap there. Yeah, absolutely. Get to the measurements, and then that shuts it down completely. Have you actually gone out to measure? So you haven't gone out to measure. So that means you don't know that your Earth isn't a globe at this point. You don't even know it's measured flat. Go and check it. Go and check it. That's all you got to do, and that will stop all your questions. That's what I keep saying to them. We had one guy talking about models weekend, model this, model that, model this. I said, yeah, but okay, you got your models now. You've been modeling for 2 months. Can you now go out into nature and confirm that your model is correct? Can you go and do that, please? We don't leave models alone, by the way.
Ken, you were perfect with the measurements until you said you'll see Earth is not a ball. You were perfect.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. It's still a natural step to take anyway. But, at the end of the day, you can see that it's measured flat. Same thing. Come on.
There you go.
I'm not going to go semantics on that.
This is the perfect moment to mention why I was banned in 24/7 English urban politics, because I didn't agree with one of the mods that the absence of curvature evidence is often given as a positive claim for flat Earth is not a bad argument. Just listen to this sentence. So someone who's claiming that we should not use anymore the evidence of the absence of curvature as a good argument for the Earth being flat, and I was just banned permanently from that months ago.
So basically,
that's unreal.
Yeah, it seems like there's shills in the moderation team that actually intentionally want the magic trick to be prevailing. That's to say, if you say, no, let's not argue against the ball anymore, ban him. Says he's a flat earther and he doesn't want to argue against a ball. No, I just want to talk about our Earth. Ban him. Yeah, there's an active effort to make sure that that's how the magic trick gets played out, isn't there? And you trying to go against it means you get banned. Yeah,
Nathan. Sorry, I suppose you're finished. But at the end, I called him out, and I told him that I told another friend, because he never called me out directly. He didn't come to talk with me, and he was sending minions of him to press me to submit to him and stop talking about his logic. And then I told his friend, go and tell him that I'm calling him out, that he's an agent. Because this is what he's saying. The absence of curvature evidence is often given as a positive claim for flat Earth is not a good argument. It's a he even called it shitty argument. And I told him, bro, it's like when you are saying, I'm not allowed to say that the line is level and horizontal and flat when it's not curving. So if a line is not curving, so what is it then? If the Earth is not curving, isn't it flat?
You don't have to ask your point is that you don't have to ask the first question. If it's non-positive, why would you assert it at all? If the Earth's not a giant roast chicken, does that mean it's something else? Grass and trees and soil. I don't need to declare that it's not a giant roast fucking chicken, do I? I just say there's trees and soil and grass as a positive statement. Oh, ban him. Here, we only start by saying it's not a roast chicken because everyone here thinks it is.
Exactly.
You don't have to defend non-positivity. I don't have to defend something not being something else. Yeah? It's the same for rotation. Why do I need to know about Coriolis? Well, because our counterparts on the ball side want to affirm their belief in a turning Earth with this notion that they don't understand, called Coriolis. So I have learned what Coriolis is. But do I need to actually get engaged in that argument? No! I haven't got a positive claim. They have. Prove your Earth is turning. But then you're into, as a flat earther, asking them to prove positivity for something that they fail at miserably. We don't need to. We need to get out of this habit of asking our opponent to prove their positive assertion. That's up to them. We don't need to get involved with them if they want to suggest that they've got a positive claim that's proven. I can prove how Earth is measured. It is measured flat. Once I've made that statement, that's it. I don't need to do anything. If someone says prove it, I go, okay, name a measurement of Earth. Any measurement, and it'll be flat. Because there's no exceptions. Why? Well, because Earth is flat. That's the only way you can measure it.
Exactly. Yeah, and Nathan, he did the same thing. He said, prove it. And you're right. The same thing with gravity. Why should I explain gravity when Neil deGrasse Tyson evades the question, what is gravity? And answers, have no idea. Next question, please. So why should we explain what gravity is?
Again, because we've been super trained, like Neil's moaning about, to be anti-globers. A flatty, let's just coin that phrase right here, right now. We've got what we formerly called flat earthers and what we formerly called globe believers. We went through a transitional stage where we started to correctly identify them as anti-flat earthers. That is to say, they are anti what the former position called flat earth was. What are flat earthers? They're not flat earthers at all. They're anti-globers. That's it. Well, we need to readdress this. Bring people back into line. If you're a globe believer, then you're entitled to be that. As long as you understand it is a belief. Oh, what, you want to force this idea onto me? Well, I'm not, number one, asking you to do that. But number two, the fact that you're now trying to force your belief onto me makes you a bleeding zealot. But if you choose to do so in your own good time on your own videos for your own benefit, and maybe others that come along of their own volition, then you need to prove your positive claim. I don't have to get involved in your belief that there's a ball beneath your feet. Me, well, what am I? Well, I just know Earth's measured flat. I'm not anything. I don't need to give myself a label. I just know how Earth's measured. It is flat. What's that? That makes me a flat earther? No, a flat earther's the kind of person that goes around telling everyone else they're not on a ball. I'm sick of being that person. I don't want to be that person anymore. You're entitled to believe you're on a bloody ball. Keep it. You can have it. I don't care. I'm not going to tell you you're not on one. I know it's measured flat if you push me to shove, but I'm not going to get involved proactively in telling you you're not on a ball anymore. It's just measured flat.
Exactly.
No. You got to prove the Earth is not turning. That's the most important thing, according to Witzit.
Yeah, well, he's a shill. Or a moron. So we'll just start pointing them out. What are you? An anti-baller? Or a flat earther? Anti-baller? I don't care. You should let people have their beliefs. It's wrong. You're not supposed to stop people having beliefs. How dare you, anti-baller? And don't call yourself a flat earther. If you were a flat earther, you'd talk about Earth being flat. Saying it's not spinning, how's it got even the slightest semblance of anything to do with being flat? Not spinning, not a roast chicken. Get lost, you stupid shill. Either you're a moron or you're here to keep the magic trick going so that people on the flat Earth, alleged to be, side, keep talking about Earth's not a ball. Because that's nothing to do with flat. Not a ball. Non-positivity doesn't need to be proven. Being flat is just a measurement of Earth in all respects without exception. So be what you are. If you're a flat earther, talk about Earth being flat. How? Because it's measured that way.
Exactly, Nathan.
Yeah, I don't know who it was. I think it was Mighty Mush. I had a chat with Mighty Mush, on the FED cat launch, kill launch. And he told me that because I was banned in 24/7, he told me now they are even admitting or conceding to the fact that we have a second pole, the South Pole. That's strange. And then
Wow.
suddenly I got I saw a solution for that. What do you think about that? If we really had two poles, then shouldn't the arrow of the compass flip 100 degree and point to the southern pole when you are holding a compass and you cross the equator from the alleged northern hemisphere to the southern hemisphere? If both poles are magnetic poles, and when you get closer to the southern pole, shouldn't a compass do that? Shouldn't we observe? Has anyone made an observation like that? Isn't that a good way of proving that we have no southern pole? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean the arrow of the compass should flip 180 degrees to the southern pole, because the southern pole would be closer, and you have crossed the equator to the southern hemisphere, and it should point to the southern magnetic pole, right?
Yes, in theory, it should do that, because that's meant to be a stronger magnetic force, isn't it?
Who cares?
It's stronger.
Sorry, do you two tossers have something to do with magnetism and compasses? Who gives a shit? Why are you arguing this?
No.
I should be able to see the bottom of those windmill posts, but I'm not. So the Earth must be curved.
I should be able to see how brown the skin of the giant Earth that's a roast chicken is at 200 degrees C. But we're not at 200 degrees C. We should be at 200 degrees C if we're a roast chicken.
Yeah, but this started because the guy said they're arguing that there's a South Pole now. So Vaxy's right about 24/7, and I don't care what Eli says.
Right, let's just do it. Let's just do it. Right, go on camera for my audience who's watching this in the pre-show. What's south? Is that south? No, that's not south. Whoever's off mute, go on mute. You can hear me talking, right? You don't need to open your lines. You can hear me. That is south. It's not. I don't have a clue which direction that is. I haven't got a compass. It doesn't matter. It's horizontal in that direction. Just take it as read that is south. It ain't that. Right? Go and buy yourself a bleeding compass. Now, if I'm going to prove Earth's measured flat, I could whip out my compass and go, all directionality is flat. Two-dimensional on this compass. That's what it is. That's not me making some bold claim. That's a fact. Compass is flat. Directions are flat. South is flat. That's south. So I don't want to hear about I'll go south to the southern hemisphere. No. That's a contradiction in terms. Look at what south is and then describe antipodal positioning with it. Oh, you can't because it's two-dimensional and flat. Yeah, that's right. It's flat. It's a flat measuring tool, as is directionality in general. Flat. That's what it is. So if I'm going to travel south, I'm going to be travelling horizontally in that direction. Not that, not antipodal, not anything to do with I need to explain why it should or shouldn't do something magnetically. It just does what it does. And it is ipso facto flat. You can hear me talking. Whoever's muttering through the top of me, right? It's going to piss me off. We haven't even started the live show yet. While you're hearing me talk, shut up. I'm done.
Now you scared everybody away.
Well, every time I start going on camera, it's not enough that I've got to look down the barrel of the camera. I can't monitor and look at like I'm looking at the audience. I can't do it. So when I hear somebody's bloody line open and I hear mutter, I just want to slap you. You know, you can hear me. You don't need to open your line and start muttering through me, whoever that was. I don't know because I'm looking down the camera, right? Understand this. I've got currently on screen OBS, Voice Meter Banana, Meet, a chat box, a Discord server, 2 live streaming boxes, my tabs, my video that will be presented later, my, shortcut buttons for my various mutes for all the different lines. I've got what's this called? VLC. I've got the VLC presentation window and the separate VLC control window. I've got my desk and I've got my Stream Deck, all under my control at the same time, right? When I'm looking down the frigging camera trying to talk to the audience, I don't need somebody who's got literally no worries. All they've got in front of me is one fucking button, and that's to keep your mouth shut while I'm talking, and you decide that you're going to open it while I'm in the middle of a bloody sentence. It's just irritating. Understand how much pressure it is to make this show happen, and understand that you opening your bloody mouth because you've got nothing better to do than talk straight through me is annoying. Yeah?
I think it's instinctively people try to agree with you and they don't realize. So what we need to do is just wait for Nathan to stop speaking. Give it a couple of seconds, then add on. But when you're not along, if you guys listen back, it does sound terrible.
I'm more tetchy because I'm doing other things. Along with running all that list of shit that I just gave you, I'm also listing microphones to keep the friggin' lights on so I can continue to do this. And I'm stressed. Incredibly stressed. I'm incredibly overworked up till 1, 2 in the morning with my wife transcribing books, right? Now, don't get me wrong, people are financially supporting me, which is a load off, believe me. I'd be going absolutely mental if I was actually so poor I couldn't pay the mortgage. Thank God people give me PayPals, because I can just about keep a lid on that particular aspect of my life. But for the fact that I'm doing microphones, I wouldn't be paying the mortgage. Now, my moan is because I'm under a lot of stress. Normally, if there's just the show, I can lean into putting on the act for the people who like me getting irritated with videos or the response to some fundy in the Discord server, right? I can do that. Now, it's sincere, right? I'm actually very stressed making the show because I'm staring at stuff that needs photographing, looking at listings, responding to people who are sending me messages, and it's too much, right? So you need to just bear with me. Bearing with me isn't, I know, I need to nod along through the top of him in the middle of this fucking sentence. So I'm going to open my line because I've got nothing else on. I'm just looking at my Discord server and waiting to open my fucking line while he's in the middle of saying something. Don't do that. It's irritating and you're going to piss me off really quickly. Now, if you understand that at this stage of the show, it won't spill into the live show. But I'm telling you, I'm going to lose my temper with people. Yeah, I'm on my last nerve.
Yeah, I suppose you're finished, Nathan. Yes. I apologize. It was me. I just said, as Neil said, I was agreeing with you. Yeah, but yeah, I talked over you. So that others would not feel that they are being addressed. It was me. So I apologize.
Well, fair enough. You didn't need to take ownership of it. I just wanted to get my disclaimers out to everybody. It's not you that needed confessing. It's not a confession. I'm not looking for somebody to admit to it. It's just, generally speaking, right? It's not you, it's me. I'm on my last nerve, right? You wanting to say, yeah, I totally agree. Can I just interrupt for a second? That's fine, right? And under any normal circumstances, that's the way the show works, right? That's how it functions. However, right? If I'm staring at my eBay, listening to people and responding to them, I'm going to lose my temper quickly. And I want you to know why. It's not your fault. You're not doing anything wrong. You just want to join in the conversation. Perfectly reasonable. On the other hand, if I go, shut up, you'll know why.
Yeah, no problem with that, bro. Mate.
I don't think anybody takes it personal anymore.
Good.
Yeah, and I was in the wrong. Nevertheless, I have to admit, no problem with saying I'm sorry. I apologize. It was my fault. I should have waited.
It's all right. You're making me smile by saying what you're saying. You should have just not admitted to it. That would have been fine too. But you have made me chuckle.
Thank you, mate.
Yeah, it seems like people are going in reverse with this flat Earth, globe Earth, because it's over. It's been over for years now. So it's like people are going back, and I've went in to servers various times over the weekend, and I just waited to see. Okay, this is the way they're doing it. Fine. I'm sure they're going to get to the measurements at some point, and just never did. It was like they were trying to avoid talking about the measurements, like it's the plague.
I'm not 100%, but that list that the Austrian guy, I can't pronounce your name, Gun to or whatever, the one that just apologized for interrupting. He posted a list about arguments and facts that you're not supposed to use, and one of them I think is you cannot just say the Earth is measured flat. That's not a good quote unquote proof.
Right, I think he's presenting that as a list of other people's position that they've put to him as opposed to his stance on it. If it is, obviously we're going to have a little word. I don't think so though, based on what he said so far this morning.
No, that's not his list. That's the list that 24/7 came up with that said you're not allowed to talk about this. You're not allowed to say Earth's measured flat because it's weak. That's their stance.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well,
yes.
If you've got like the most winningest argument you could possibly put forth, and your opponents don't like that, I would suggest as an opponent the best thing to do is say, I don't want you to use those arguments. It's like in a football game. Some player uses a very particular type of tackle. And no matter who goes up against, it doesn't matter how big they are, they're going down every single time that player uses that tackle. Well, you know what? I don't think it's fair that you use that tackle anymore. Just don't use it. Why? Well, because you win when you do. And I don't like not winning, so I'd prefer to win. So best you don't use that best argument you've ever come up with that isn't even an argument, it's just a statement of fact. Because you just stating a fact that Earth's measured flat ends the argument immediately. So I don't think that's tolerable. Let's put it on a list of arguments that we're not allowed to use.
Weak?
Yeah.
Did I hear that correctly? That Earth measured flat is weak? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you call that guy that takes down every single football player on the field, you call him weak. You say he's only 5'8". Yeah, he's taking down your 6'6", how many pounds would it be? 170 pound monstrosity of a player. He's taking him down though, isn't he? Yeah, but he's weak. He's still weak, isn't he?
Sounds like AI overload.
It's like you're invading a town and like you're the general goes, hey, we can't use our tanks because the battle's going to be over in 20 minutes. What are we going to do for the rest of the day? You know?
Excuse me, Austria here. I think we should go to the Geneva Convention and say no tanks. Because when they use the tanks, we immediately lose. So no tanks, please. It's not fair. Weak of them. It's weak. These weak men in a tank.
No, Nathan, Wax meant me when he said the Austrian guy. And he said my name is difficult, Berserker. So the Austrian guy was the one who called the Master Yoda, claiming that we should not claim that the Earth is measured flat. So actually, the Austrian guy said that this is nonsense. That we should not be able to say the Earth is measured flat.
Okay. I mean, if that was to happen to me, that's why I've got these circumstances defined already. Oh, right. So you're talking about the hard place where nobody's allowed to, measure horizontal distances or perpendicular elevations? Okay, no worries. Nobody's allowed to measure Earth flat to express your ball belief anymore. So should anybody here decide to assert perpendicularity, horizontal distance measurement, parallel eye level, sea level, any of the general terms that we are never going to use again that all reference Earth measurement, you won't be able to get very far with your ball faith when you pretend that Earth's measured ball-shaped by utilising horizontal distance, perpendicularity, parallel eye level, sea level, altitude, elevation angles, but any of the things that generally are used to measure Earth as a flat plane. You're not allowed to use them then. No worries. I'll use them. What's that you're telling me I can't? Fuck you. I'll do how the fuck I like. Earth's measured flat by everyone in all circumstances. You telling me I'm not allowed to say it? Suck on my fucking balls. I'll do what the fuck I like. You wanker, you're telling me I'm not allowed to be here if I don't toe by your rules? Where I'm not allowed to point out how Earth's measured? No worries. You bunch of wankers can sit in here with me not pointing out that you're all measuring Earth flat constantly. And then pretending you live on a ball with those flat measurements you tell me I can't use. Yeah, then I'm not welcome here, am I? You're all delusional. Me, I'll tell you to go fuck yourselves if you tell me what I can't do when I point out how Earth's fucking measured. Because everybody measures it the same way. It's flat.
Nathan, I see the problem here. Oh, I see it so clearly. Oh, really? So they want the dimensions. If you're saying it's measured that way, what are the dimensions, Nathan?
Or what's the dimension of an angle?
Able to give us
an elevation angle. give me the dimension of an elevation angle. Are you a spastic? Were you dropped on your fucking head? Do you not know what an elevation angle is? It's not going to give you dimensionality. It's two straight lines meeting at a vertex. It's clue in the title. It's an angle. Elevation being from surface level, flat, when you measure it. And we do measure it. That's why I've got all these diagrams on screen that have come from ball-believing idiot books, where they suggest that sphericity is attained by measuring Earth flat. With things like elevation angles. What's that? Give me the dimensionality of an elevation angle. A spastic. Go and get yourself checked out in the local mental institution because you're a retard.
Essentially, their rebuttal, and I've heard this before, and you know, certain people come in and call me a liar all they want, but it's, you know, it just is what it is. When you tell them that you have a horizontal zenith distance from point A to point B to where your elevation angle is 90 degrees overhead, they say, oh, that works on a globe. Your angle of altitude works on a globe. Like, that's their rebuttal to it. It's retarded.
That's not even true. They don't even know what they're talking
of course
about.
It's not true. And by they, I mean the people that hang out in 24/7, the quote unquote flat earthers, will tell you it works on a globe. Just like AI and his beef with shit, what's it called? With the airplanes.
Pitch data.
Damn it. Yes, yeah. I'm sorry. Complete brain fog on that term, pitch data, for some reason. His whole issue with that is he says that it works on a globe. They're retarded.
He's an idiot.
Yeah. So Eli owes me an apology.
Show me the globe. Show me the globe measurements with the pitch data. He can't. He can only show them flat.
It's right angle triangles that work on a globe, Neil. Come on. The surface utilizes the adjacent, works on a globe.
Yeah, Vax. Exactly. That's why I told him, now you are telling us we cannot claim the Earth is flat and measured flat. And the next thing you would say that the sextant and elevation angle, we don't need for that a flat baseline, a flat plane. That would be the next thing. Because as you said, here you have it. A purpose of an angle is to establish a relation between the adjacent, which is known as the cosine, and the opposite adjacent sides, which is the tangent. And you know what? This relation of ratio should stay constant alongside the baseline. And if you have a curve, then this relation of ratio would not stay constant. That's why you cannot have. So what he's saying, that we cannot claim that the Earth is measured flat, he's saying you can have an angle on a curved Earth, on the ball.
That's correct.
They literally don't know what angles are. Two straight lines meeting at a vertex, that's an angle. They don't know that because they're stupid.
Well, let's face it. There is an anti-FED sentiment going around, coming from that side. No matter what, the FED bad. No matter what comes out here, FED bad. And it's sad. It really is. But that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, when you're always winning, people will hate you. That's why everyone hated the Patriots. That's why everyone hated the Yankees in the 90s. When you're always winning and kicking everybody's ass, you're going to get a lot of enemies.
Yeah, but this is not even like a win-lose. This is just reality. We're telling you about reality, and you're telling us, no. It's stupid to say that. Okay.
I think the Berserker Canyon needs to find the entire list, because it's a whole laundry list. It's like 50 different things all on a list. I was going to say, see if you can get your hands on that.
Yeah, he started with 31 points on the list, and an hour after they banned me, it was already at point 43. That was the point 43 where he said the absence of curvature evidence is often given as a positive claim for flat Earth is a bad argument. And then he calls it, how does he call it? Look, He's insulting flat earthers. He's calling it. His name is Yoder, so he's calling his list Yoder's grocery list of floppy, fickle, flerf arguments and points.
How are you?
How you doing?
I'm all right.
Hello.
Little bit
Good,
stressed.
good.
My mother was running to hospital yesterday evening. They think she's had a heart attack. So she's been under observation and blood tests and all that kind of nonsense for quite some time, which is stressful in and of itself, along with running a live show, selling microphones, producing a book, and homeschooling 2 children. It's a very stressful time for Nathan Oakley currently. But I'm glad you asked. Rhetorical, there it was. I'm going to answer it because we're live now and I don't want to bore you with it all before in the pre-show because we're having such a lovely discussion about how anti-glober people will be retitled by me from this point forward. So I'm going to coin this term. We've already had anti-flat earther. What's an anti-flat earther? Somebody who stands in opposition to what was formerly known as flat earthing. What's flat earthing? Well, somebody who goes around telling you that you're not on a ball. So you've got anti-ballers and anti-flatties. The roles are reversed and mirrored. That's to say your average ball believer isn't a ball believer because that's a normie. They don't go around expressing their general faith in Earth being a ball. They just get on with their day, often measuring Earth flat as they do so. But your guy in the YouTube arena, like your Simon Dans and your Craig McNeils and your Fugly Dave McKeegans, they're anti-flat earthers. Now, they oppose people who go around saying Earth's not a ball because here's a list of things that are non-positive and I'm going to start proving them. That's what a former flat earther's called. Well, I'm going to call those people anti-ballers because that's really all they are. They're people who are anti-globe. Now, we're just realists in that respect. We just talk about Earth and how it's measured. Like the example of somebody who believes he's on a ball but goes around measuring Earth with a compass or with an elevation angle or with parallel eye level or sea level or surface level or any of the levels that you use when you measure Earth flat. Redundant. That's just how you measure it. Don't need to say it's measured flat. In fact, you don't need to the point where you can believe you're on a ball and have people come along and say they're flat earthers, in quotes, only to tell you how Earth's not a ball because they've gone to the extent of learning heliocentrism inside out and back to front so that they can tell you not to believe in things. And I think that's an outrage. Everybody's entitled to their belief. If you, my audience member, want to believe that you're on a ball, more power to you. Everybody's entitled to that. You're all entitled to believe whatever you like. Who am I to tell you Earth's not a ball? Now, do I know it's measured flat for sure and without a doubt? Yes, I do. No, for sure and without a doubt Earth is flat because it's measured that way. For everyone, in all circumstances and without exception, even if you want to believe that you're on a ball. So Earth's measured flat, and me saying that doesn't mean I get ascribed a title of anything. It's just me knowing how Earth's measured in all examples and all exceptions, without any exceptions. It's flat. Earth, that is. So my belief in a ball waned the moment I found that out. And yours should too. But you shouldn't stop other people from having their beliefs. You're entitled to believe you're on a ball. I'm not going to stop you. How are you?
Well, good. I hope your mom's doing okay, man. I'm sorry to hear that. Berserker posted that list, and I was just reading it, and it's funny because a lot of it is a feast of nonsense, which I do agree with. They're not good things to talk about if you are trying to, demonstrate how Earth is measured flat and stuff. But there's a couple things on there that are a little wacky. Can I read a few?
Yeah.
All right. Number 1, a map is literal world map. Yeah, that's fine. Out of focus stars are anomalous entities, whatever. Parabolic rocket arcs prove a globe. Solar/Polaris elevation angles prove flat Earth. That's number 4. So that's the one they don't want us using. Denial of atmospheric refraction is also something you're not supposed to do if you're a flat earther. So, I mean, stop right there. Those 5 and 4 are ridiculous.
All of this is ridiculous. I don't see how any of this should have any bearing on us. There's one nonsensical statement in there that I would address. If you say a Polaris measurement's a measurement, I don't know how they said it, but not a proof of a flat Earth, it's like, well, it is a flat Earth measurement. Now, again, like I said in the preamble, I don't need to declare that with redundancy When I take a measurement of surface level as part of an angle, that's just a fact, and a description of that fact isn't something that I necessarily need to lean into as a proof of anything. It's just how Earth gets measured. Flat for the surface level part of the angle that you're measuring Earth as a flat plane to form part of the angle with. That's what it is. Now, you may not like that ipso facto requires Earth be flat, but I don't have to declare, well, that proves Earth's flat. It's just a requirement. It's a prerequisite to form an angle with the surface level. Now, what's that? You don't like the surface level angle measurement to Polaris we call latitude? Oh, well, you don't have to like it. Nobody's asking you to like it. It just is what it is. A measurement of a flat Earth.
Number 26 is interesting. Standard units only work on a flat Earth. So flat Earthers aren't supposed to say that. Like degrees, like angles in degrees and
Miles,
horizontal miles. Like
again, so what you're saying is if you're out there using the Ordnance Survey, I'm trying to do too many things, right? If I go on camera now, I just look like I'm a slob, and it's not. It's because I'm doing things. I'm doing eBay things. I'm sorry. If you go out there and you want to use a map, right? You get your compass, and you get your map, and you've got your scale that's flat, and it's got the word miles written on it. You're not allowed to use that, okay? The anti-flatties say no. You're not allowed to describe how flat and linear miles and directionality is. What if I want to go south? No! Because that means Earth's flat. So you can't use south as a horizontal distance. It just is. Don't need to use it and declare that Earth's flat with it. It's just a fact. Don't want to use directionality, then don't say south.
Yeah, but Nathan.
11. All maps are flat, proves flat Earth.
Sorry, that's just again, I love these. These are great. You're picking out the best ones from reality. I'm just never going to get this microphone listed, am I? Oh, well. All maps are flat. I mean, unless they're a bit rumply. You're not allowed to point it out, though, okay? Because when you look at the scale and its horizontal distance measurement utilisation on the flat map, you mean Earth's flat. No, I'm just using a freaking map. Earth is flat. And there's a lot of things that point to it when you're talking about measurements, and it seems our anti-flat brethren don't like this, much as you can tell to my amusement. We're not allowed. Really? I'll do whatever the frig I like if I've got a map in front of me and I want to find my way home on the flat Earth that we're measuring with linear miles or kilometres. Or maybe we'll take some angle measurements and we'll figure out our fix with flat Earth surface level angle measurements. I mean, what's that? I can't do that because I'm a flat earther and I won't say that means Earth must be flat. That's just form part of the measurement. It's like a fact that is irrelevant of your liking our non-globe shape. We must measure Earth flat with to achieve things like angles from the surface level or achieve an average for topology elevations and depressions. That's sea level. I mean, you don't have to like these things, but they are just how Earth gets measured, whether you like it or not. You can put them on your little lists, though. Yeah, me, I can piss on those lists. And then laugh in your face. Earth's measured flat, you don't have to like it.
Nathan, if you remember, before you go on, Maxie, you had some people that had a problem with that, too. You're saying miles, you sound like a fundy.
Yeah, so if you're out there using a map and you say to the person next to you, 6 miles, fundy, you're saying Earth's flat.
Yeah, that was the Adam Meakin. It was a show. He used to going at it, and he claimed that you sound like a fundy if you just say miles, prove Earth is flat.
Don't have to. It's
Pitch
redundant.
data from flight N773UA proves flat Earth. You're not supposed to say that. I don't know what flight that is, but essentially,
it's the flight we got the pitch data from.
Data.
So when we're talking about, we're not. I don't use that. I didn't even know the flight number. I'm assuming that's the one that comes from the pitch data. Who cares? I've already said it on one of the previous shows last week. They need the measurement data on paper. Maybe it's gone through an algorithm to get it on paper. I mean, that would be concerning when I'm describing how elevation profiles work, how horizontal line of sight will be, how linear and flat distance measurements are. I mean, who cares? All of these things are used and then noted algorithmically, obviously. You've got to go through a little processing system to get it onto paper so you can read it. But meanwhile, the actual measurements are axiomatically tied directly to Earth being flat. And if it's not, then the measurements don't function. It's just as simple as that. What's that? You don't like the printout that the NTSB use when they're investigating why people might die if people deviate from the flight level that they've been instructed to go to with a flight controller? I haven't got anything in front of me. I literally don't have the pitch data. Like, I'm completely empty-handed. Other than me literally listing microphones. What I mean is I don't need this information to be printed out on a piece of paper to describe just how flat Earth must be measured. If I'm going to come in for a landing, I'm going to plan my descent with a measurement of the horizontal distance and the glide slope. It's a triangle, after all. Now, what's that? You don't like me pointing out that there's a triangle in a glide slope when you come in for a descent to land on the surface that's flat? You don't like that? That makes me a fundy. I'm not a pilot. I'm not doing anything. It's just how it's marked in every single descent that you ever encounter, ever. Because Earth is and can only be measured flat to achieve such a thing. What's that? I'm a fundy? No, just don't like dying on aircraft. I'm sure the pilot feels the same. But you're not going to call him a fundy. That's why they lock the doors, so that you zealots telling people what they can't talk about don't get to the pilots. That's why they lock you out of the cockpit. So he can plan and measure Earth flat to descend and land on it. That's why they lock the doors, to keep you idiots with your lists out the pilot's way when they measure Earth flat. Now, we can check. We can get things like the pitch data from whatever flight, doesn't matter. I don't need to, though. I understand when the guy's on the phone to the plane going, ascend to flight level. That's all I need. I don't need it written down. I mean, maybe you do, so you can put it on a list and tell people not to talk about it, right? Bless. Meanwhile, Earth's measured flat. That's why they lock the cockpits, to keep you nutters away from the pilots, so you don't cause any accidents. If there were, obviously, planes deviate from flight level all the time when they're crashing, and then the NTSB get involved. Again, not Muppets in servers with lists telling people what they can't do when they investigate with flat Earth measurements why a plane hit the flat Earth. They just look at the data. I mean, me, I don't need it. I'm not a pilot.
Is that raw data you're looking at?
I mean, probably not. It probably has to go through some sort of algorithm to get it onto the paper, right? I mean, the raw data, we're not looking at gyros. It's a bit of paper. Anyway, fun that this was. Telling people how you can't do this and you can't do that just seems like a bit dictatorial, really. I mean, I wouldn't want to be involved in that sort of server if people are telling you what you can and can't do on lists. Before you know it, you're on a list. Anyway, here, you can do what you like. You want to believe you're on a ball, you be my guest. Everybody's entitled to their belief. That's the attitude of Flat Earth debate. You want to believe that? What's that? You want to tell me I can't describe the flat surface level that forms an angle? Okay, well, then neither can you, and you can't believe in a ball unless you've got those flat Earth measurements to lean into, because that's how Earth got measured for you to believe you're on a ball. But, I mean, I'm all for you believing on a ball, but you're not for me pointing out the flat Earth measurements you required to measure Earth with to put you on a ball for your belief. I'm not allowed to use those. That seems kind of crazy. I think you should check yourself into the local nut house with your lists and your rules and what we can't talk about. Bonkers, that's what that is. You're all nutters.
Next.
Well, we're gonna no housekeeping to do. I'm just looking at microphones. Oh, I bought my drum set. Woohoo! Cheap microphones all day long. I like buying the drum sets because they come with 7 microphones and I can split them up. It's like anything, you know, when you talk about selling, you buy a piece of cloth, you rip it in half, you sell 2 cloths, right? You buy it for $1, you sell each half for $1, you've made $1. I like doing that with drum mics. So they come in a pack of 7 and people just see it as one item. It's not, it's 7 microphones. So somebody just agreed to sell me a really nice set for dirt cheap. Now that's always going to be the case because it's the way I buy. The way to buy is to... It's the rule of 10. It's the same with selling. But in purchasing, it's you go out and ask for 10 things cheap as you can possibly have them. Like insultingly cheap. Now, 9 times out of 10, the seller just wants to slap you. They're like, get lost. It's worth lots more than that. Get lost. How dare I'm insulted. That's the reaction 9 times out of 10. 1 time in 10, they go, yeah, all right. Have it. It's been that 1 time in 10 today with my Samsung drum mic set. Fantastic. 7 mics.
Nice.
I won't tell you what I paid because then no one will buy them from me. If they know I'm doing too well with them. I'm not doing that well. I look at my spreadsheet, right, and I've done, over the weekend, I've bought more mics, obviously. I went over 10 grand. That's purchasing, not turnover, but just purchasing. I've spent £10,000 on microphones. Where am I? I'm still 200 quid or 300 or 200 quid down. I'm still in the red, £292.86. I'm still not making a friggin' profit. But I've got £2,500 worth of stuff in my bedroom. I was going to say in my stock room. It's next to me. I wake up next to this stuff. Anyway, and I'm banking all of it that I can turn it all back into cash between now and Christmas. That I can flog a £2,000 to £2,500 worth of microphones. And over the 12 months, it's not quite 12 months, but let's just call it that. Over the year that I've been buying and selling microphones, I've gone from buying, I kid you not, the cheapest tat for $1 or £1 and turning it into £5 to now, each time I buy something, because I've got half as many items because obviously they're more expensive, but I'm buying stuff that's like 40 quid and turning it into 100. So it's much more expensive transactionally, but it means I'm sat on £2,500 worth of stock, but it's all pure profit. In other words, this is the point where I'm hovering around zero. That's to say I'm not owed anything from microphones, right? But because I'm hovering around zero with my £2,500 worth of stock that's sat next to me in my bed, when it sells, it legitimately pays the mortgage. Like it goes into my bank and stays there as profit. Like that mic doesn't owe me a penny. Every penny I get to keep of it. It's not like I've just spent 40 quid and I really need that 40 quid back. It's like everything I've got to sell will turn into pure profit, and therefore I actually keep the money that comes from them. And it's taken a year. Now, if you don't have to do much quick maths to say I'm working on about a 25% margin, right? I've got £2,500 worth of microphones in stock. Now, it doesn't quite work out that way, but I have spent 10 grand to achieve that over the course of a year. Now, obviously, I've sold stuff along the way, a crap ton. I've sold about 300 items, and that churn has resulted in this moment where I'm actually okay to sell stuff and make profit off it and keep the money and pay my mortgage with it. So I'm from that perspective, I'm in a really good mood. I've reached a really good place, and it's at the right retail time where people are going to start buying my crap. I mean, my fantastic products between now and Christmas. My polished
Sounds
dog
like you're
turds.
juggling, Nathan.
I'm juggling. And there's one more thing that I didn't need last night at whatever it was, 7 p.m, when my sister called and said, it looks like my mum's had a heart attack. My dad recently died. My biggest concern is that when people die and they're married or partnered up, their partner can and often does follow very quickly thereafter. Now, my mum's in good health and she's not as old as my dad, obviously, but her lineage is old people, her parents, that is, my grandparents, that went to 100 plus, both of them. So you're like, surely my mother will. But no, she might just die of a broken heart, as much as it's horrible to say now that my father's died. She's starting to show signs of poor health, which is terrible and very upsetting. Along with me juggling writing the book, again, I should do a proper shout out. I'm even going to go on camera to say this right. Thank God I'm not stressed about giving my money to my wife so that she can transcribe my book. Because it would be a stretch too far if I was financially in turmoil. I'm not, thanks to my microphones, and I couldn't pay somebody to do it. So at one point I reached out to my mother and said I would like, some money to help getting an editor. Now my wife has actually taken on that role, but at the time, I'm sure you all are familiar, I had a couple of editors and they decided they wanted to be writers, so I had to sack them. Well, they were working for free, and then I had no book because they also stole it, the bastards. Nevertheless, what I had in lieu of a Word document with all my writing in it was the recordings of all of the sessions that we'd done towards the book. Now, my wife has dutifully been transcribing those recorded sessions, some of them with me playing Fortnite over the top of them, admittedly, rather than the actual text on screen. But nevertheless, she's taken that information and transcribing it, present tense, onto a, let me get it correct, 6th draft of the book. Then we're going to work through that and turn it into a 7th draft, which will hopefully be the end result of a lot of work. Now, I was just discussing this yesterday with my wife, and she was saying, look, any good book has to go through these sorts of processes. Having an interesting story to go along with it at the 5th draft stage, where your editors nick the Word document, just makes it a more tumultuous journey that people will want to investigate when it comes to buying the book. So it's got a good, I don't know if stormid is the right word, I can't think of the right word, but the history that the process of producing this book has had makes it more interesting just as an item. Forget about the text inside it, just as a thing, it becomes more interesting. And as I was discussing with Craig Jr. from Click OK, who's on the panel, I think he is still on the panel, he was saying, you're going to garner a certain amount of sympathy from people who see your plight and go, even if they're not on my side, that's to say the perceived anti-flat earth and anti-globe sides that we just defined earlier. It's like universally people have looked on to what's happened with the 5th draft of my book and gone, bloody hell, that's a bit much. And yeah, it is. Yeah. And it's at a time when you're at your most weak that normally people will try and exploit you, as is the case with me or anybody else. So I don't feel like it's out of the ordinary and wasn't to a certain degree mitigated for in several different ways, both financially with microphones, which is why I've waffled on about them, and indeed with the actual production process of the book itself, which was in itself a mitigation for YouTube censorship, as this channel gets limited audience participation in terms of the delivery of the material in the first instance. So, with all of that being said, I'm, under a lot of pressure, and then your mother ends up having poor health, and you're like, bloody hell, it's all a bit much, it's all a bit on top, and therefore people are getting shouted at in the pre-show, and I'm getting a bit sweary. But, you find your language gets more colourful when you're at your weakest as well. It's a poor choice of words when I'm effing and blinding in the pre-show. Hopefully I can keep it together in the live show so that this is reasonably shareable. But there we go. I don't know why I went on that little waffly rant about everything.
Nathan, when you say you had to sack the editors, does that mean fired?
Yeah, sack means fire.
Oh, no. People are not liking that. Through the grapevine, how dare you say that? They were not hired for you to fire them.
Oh, were they not? Not according to my recordings, they absolutely were. I mean, whether or not offering assistance in the editorial capacity is something they want to admit to as an unemployed person is irrelevant to me. I don't care. In terms of what they were unpaid editors, my staff, and I had to sack them. So who doesn't like that? People on the anti-flat earth side, the globe side, or the people who got sacked?
I'll let you figure that one out for yourself.
I don't really care. I'm asking for the audience because they'll be intrigued. Me, I couldn't care less. Me having to fire people isn't something that I'm unfamiliar with. There was a time in my life when I worked as a recruitment consultant. Do you know what that is?
What was that?
A recruitment consultant is somebody who's essentially the boss of lots of temporary staff. So I was the manager of about 30 to 40 people at any given time. And my role was to take people in, quite literally in some instances, off the street or find them to fill various roles when people went on holiday and they needed temporary staff to fill a particular role, sometimes for a few days, sometimes for a few months, sometimes for a few years. So I would supply people and then I'd have to hire, quite literally, that person into a role. And I was their employer. They were always paid by me. I had to pay them. I had a payroll. I had their pay slips, etc., etc. But I was their boss. And I had to hire them and, shockingly, fire them. Sack them, as we call it. So, yeah, you do the hiring and you do the firing. And that's what you do when you're an employer. And like I say, at one point I had 40... I'm sure there was more. And probably at some points there was probably 50 staff underneath me as a recruitment consultant. But that was my ticket to being James Bond. So I wanted to be a rep, right? I wanted to fly all over the world. And I'm not rich, but you don't think rich when you want to do something. I'm not money orientated. It's like, how do I achieve this ends? And in that particular example, past tense, because I'm giving it as a story, how do I fly all over the world? Well, you need to be a rep. You need to be an international representative of a company. Then you can fly. That's what part of your expenses will be. Tickets to fly all over the world. Like James Bond. That's what I wanted to do, right? Be a cool, high-flying, James Bond-esque person. Well, to do that, you need to be a rep. So I'm like, how do I be a rep? Well, to be a rep, first thing you need to do is you need to get business-to-business sales experience. So I became a equivalent to business selling, was selling houses for whatever reason that came under business-to-business or was considered business-to-consumer. So I could step into business-to-business, which was consulting for staff. That's recruitment consultancy. And that got me into being a business-to-business salesperson, so I could fly all over the world as a representative for an electronics company. So that was my journey to flying. Now, did I have the money to go and buy all those tickets? No, of course not. But that was the steps to do exactly that. Well, along that process was hiring and firing. So when I say I know about hiring and firing, I mean, I had this conversation, I have to talk about them, unfortunately, but with Adam not so long ago, because he had to fire one of his staff, just one. Now, unlike me, I was hiring and firing all day. I was brutal. I mean, I was a good boss, in my humble opinion, but I still had to hire and fire a lot of people. Now, I know what it is to hire and fire somebody, so if someone's going to challenge me and say, no, that wasn't a hiring and firing circumstance. Yeah, it was. I know all about hiring and firing people. I've done it a lot. Like a hell of a lot. Like, it wasn't that 40 or 30 generally, 30 to 40 people that I had in my command at any given time when I was a recruitment consultant wasn't the totality of the people that I was hiring and firing. Obviously, they're churning all the time. So there's hundreds, if not thousands, of people that have gone through my hiring and firing process. I know a lot about hiring and firing. The point being, Neil.
I think it's because they proposed and you denied. So how is that firing? Just the way I got it. Trying to flip it that you're the one that pulled out on the process, which got me very angry.
Pulled out on what? Well, I'm still doing it. What are they babbling about? Are they still editing Nathan Oakley's book? No, they've been fired. Nathan Oakley's me. I'm still doing it. I've just literally given the audience a rendition of how I've got a new editor and how that was the point of all that. Thank you. You're the ones being so generous to put me in a position where I can go, here's money to my wife. Please continue to transcribe the book and continue to turn down your actual employer. It's like, I'm paying her. Now, is that an employee relation? Yes, it is. She's still my wife. Still love her very dearly. I'm very grateful. Like I was grateful to all those people I hired and fired and put into temporary roles. And my former editors. Thieving bastards that they are. They had to be fired. So I fired them.
Yeah, you can absolutely be fired from a voluntary position. My brother got fired from a thrift store when he was doing community service because he kept goofing off and not helping the lady.
Yeah,
she
exactly.
told him not come anymore.
Exactly. If you go listen to my discussion with 10th Man, when I'm saying, it's a terrible circumstance and life will go on and I won't be dishonest and I'm with God and thank God for all the support, I've had to fire my editors. That was in my little disclaimer that I read out to the public. Day one of them finding out. That's public in a quotation mark because that was originally put out to my members as a members-only video. They were the first to find out on a wider scale. It wasn't. My first approach was Adam and QE. Then he went out to the internal group. Neil were one of the people. Brian and so on. And then it went to a wider group. My patrons. Then it went to a wider group, my members. Then it went to a wider group, the general public. But at the point where I'm telling my patrons and members, they're finding out through members-only videos where I'm reading out my discussion with 10th Man, a slightly more limited group member in that regard, that I've discussed how I will have to fire my editors. Now, if you've been fired, I understand this as well, right? I should have more empathy, like I used to back in the day when I had to fire people who were my temporary staff. If you've been affected by me firing you, I'm really sorry. Get over yourselves. You'll pick yourselves up. Maybe you'll fire and find yourself in another editing gig for somebody interesting. What's that? You think you're writers and you're interesting? What's his name again? Adam what? Merkin? My wife cracks me up right while she's reading it. She says, when I get to your bits, Nathan, I have to transcribe your bits where you're talking. It's really easy. Then I get to Adam and his drunk ramblings in riddles, and it's very difficult to decipher. QE just pipes up occasionally and swears and goes and gets citations. Like, yeah. They were gaslighting me into this this belief that they were the ones that were writing my book? That they're right? Yeah, okay, lads. You're not interesting. Yeah? Where's your interesting tales of flat earthing? Now, you've got a load of citations and a load of references, or in the case of the trumped-up secretary known as Adam, you've got a load of drunk ramblings. That's what you've got. But me, I've got concise summaries of flat earth measurements that, make me sound like a fundy? No, I'm just holding a map with a flat scale on it. What, am I a religious believer in flat earth just because I look at the word miles and then ascribe it to this distance on this map that's flat? No, that's just earth ipso facto being measured flat. See how those words just flow out of me? Yeah, that's the kind of thing that, makes a good book. Not talking about your citations. That's boring. Yeah, you trumped up editors. Good job I fired them.
Wait, I got a question coming in. Oh. Nathan, how much of that book did you really write?
All of it. That's what I'm trying to explain. Fucking tongue tie my way around this sentence. While my wife is transcribing it, there you go, got it out. She's pointing them out because I can hear how much involvement. I can also hear Brian in the background, the slimy little shitbag, asking about how much I've written in my own book. He's there while I'm dictating it. Maybe I should trim out a little section while I'm on fire talking about gravitational this and gravitational that. And then Brian slopes in and talks and mutters something into a crap mic that you can hardly understand, asking how much of my own book I've written. He was there.
Yeah, that's why when he presented me with that question, I asked him, are you really seriously asking me that question?
If I gave two craps about any of these tosspots, I'd trim out some of these sections. Oh, I already have. I did it, 6 weeks ago? I presented all those clips. Anybody who's watched my shorts clips about the book, and I've got examples of them being described as what they are, editors, helping me. I've trimmed it because I've got it all recorded. That was presented to them first. I kept them in one of the groups, my groups, the ones I set up. And I showed them all the clips before they were published, before they went to the wider group either. Adam and QE got all the clips, so they knew the situation prior to me publishing it. And then slowly, incrementally, it escalated out into the public. 6 weeks ago, what? Easy. Now I don't care. Yeah, that Brian was there during the process. I could start, but that's old news now. Boring. We've all seen it. We've all heard it. I've had the sympathy. Thank you so much to my Patreons and PayPal supporters, giving me the ability to give all of that. And I'm sincere. Everything I get through PayPal goes directly to my wife while she's transcribing that book. And I wanted to keep doing it. So I'm very grateful that people have done that. But that's old news. People know all this stuff because I put it all out and got on with it, moved on in life. Yeah, I'm under a lot of stress and strain writing a book, doing my microphone sales, running a live show, telling people off for talking through me or on mid-flow. But, life goes on. It makes it a more interesting process. That's what people want when they're buying a thing. They want it to have an interesting story. Just the fact of owning that book will be an interesting event for the person who purchases it, if they've got any idea of the process that went into it before they've even read a word. Now, there's other people out there that could produce books, but have they got that going for them? No! There's a reason people want to be parasitical to the interesting people of the world, isn't there? Because they're not interesting. So it's good by association if you can get it. Unless you don't and you get fired. Then you don't get it. Trumped up pair of wankers. But yeah.
How's it going anyway?
Good. Good. Chapter 8. Very long chapter. I'm sure you remember doing Gravity and it taking forever. Well, it's the same for my wife. She's like, bloody hell, this is taking a long time. Well, what chapter are you on? She's not Gravity. Ah, right. That makes sense. Well, have they actually been useful? Did they get me some useful citations? She's like, oh, yeah. I'm like, because the last thing I want to think is that I've actually wasted my time for the last 12 months, like while I was sat with them gathering up citations, that's all for nothing. She's like, no, there's stuff there. There's lots of them from QE. Like, we don't need them all. We might not use any of them, but it's nice to have them and pick and choose what we, as writers, that's me and my wife in this instance, decide that we're going to put into my book. I mean, obviously you could be some trumped up editor and start dictating to the author what they're going to do with their book, but then you get told to fuck off, don't you? And then you get excluded from the rest of the group for being a thieving wanker, trying to extort the author that you were offering to help. That's how things go. Past tense. As you are all aware of the audience, and I can easily disseminate to you now without any guff or fluster because it's already been discussed a many time prior.
Well, what was the trig points you put in the other day? I didn't understand what you were talking about.
Oh, Brian was waffling on about trig points years ago. It's just nobody listened to him. Well, maybe being a bit less boring and having a decent mic would have helped, but, you know, Brian didn't manage that, so people weren't really paying attention to Brian talking about trig points. Yeah, so was that guy on the map channel. He's got 100,000 views. People listen to him because he's smug and looks happy while he's sniffing his own farts, talking about how flat he measured Earth. People pay attention to people like that, don't they? That's why we've gone to the people like him with 150,000 subscribers and 500,000 views on a video about trig points. Not Brian while he mumbles down a crap mic that you can't understand.
He
Anyway,
was
like
talking
I say-
about how Earth was measured flat, that guy, that's for sure.
Somebody said that he'd commented and that he was giving a rebuttal Nathan doesn't understand. Oh, wow, that's really original. I don't understand. Oh, thank you, map guy. If only I'd have found you 10 years ago. What's that? I'll write it down. Don't understand. No, I understand English. The English you were using in your words and that. Like when you were telling us how flat you measured Earth. I understood because you're good. Sniffing your own farts with your smug nature about how flat you measured Earth. I understood. You used good words when you measured Earth flat. Yeah, this has been a bit of a reaction channel. Reaction to generally what's going on around Flat Earth debate currently, eh, Neil? Lots of stuff going on. I like that we're getting reactions from the map making channel. Great. Thank you. Oh, somebody purchased something. Happy days. No, it's telling me something's been delivered. Bummer. Well, at least it's got to the customer. Hooray!
So you had to resort to selling microphones because all of us, I say all of us, we all said the book could be better. And it just took way too long. And then at the end, when it was almost time to wrap it up, there was a betrayal. Yeah, that's going to sound really good in a book.
See, even you can concisely summarise it. We've talked about it so much. But this is all past tense, right? Things are moving forward, getting ever closer to Christmas. The time for retail is now.
Oh, yeah. Level Earth Observer gave you a shout out the other day on his video.
Woohoo! Thank you, Level Earth Observer. Go and check him out. Hopefully one of my mods will put a link to your channel in the live stream YouTube chat. And yeah, we'll get some people toddling along to Level Earth Observer's channel, who never gets delivered to me in spite of being me subscribed. I've heard many other flatties, if you want to call us that. Don't know, we'll have to come up with a new name for us personally. Oh, do we? Do we need to be given a title so that we can be suggested to be in a group? That just makes you more exploitable. Anyway, on a different tangent. Thank you, Level Earth Observer. Really appreciate the shout-outs. We'll see. Hopefully someone will stick a link to his channel. What I've been doing recently, Neil, you'll like this just because the connotations from maybe from a slight Christian perspective. I've been selling voice of God microphones. So what I'm talking to you on now, this microphone that you're listening to me on, is a voice of God microphone. A good mic for doing voiceovers. This is what I'm doing now. This is a voiceover. Voice over the top of the video, right? Well, voiceover is, because it's my bit, is the ones I'm most interested in. So the really nice voiceover mics that I've got are all being sold. And they're all at least maybe £100, say. That doesn't sound like very much money. I'm sure people out there are like, is that it? There's like mics for £1,000. Yeah, well, to me, they're expensive. They're not cheap $5 crap. But my voice of God microphones are getting sold. So it's just intriguing to me when I get to put the words voice of God in an advert and say it on a video. Like, this is the Bear Dynamic MC83 voice of God microphone in my videos. In case you're wondering, if you see my shorts videos as a subscriber and you're like, why are all these microphone videos suddenly in this Flat Earthers channel? Well, as you just found out, I use them to flog the mics on eBay. So if you go to one of my eBay ads, you'll see the second picture is actually a video, and you can play it, and it's me going, this microphone is blah, 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 in, what you see on the shorts video, basically. That's why they're short. So YouTube, and it's not YouTube anymore. They're allowing 3-minute shorts. So it used to be the case that YouTube only allowed you 60 seconds on a shorts video. Now it's 3 minutes, but eBay now only allow you a minute. So to sell your product, you've got a minute to do a video with it. Now, most people just point a camera at the thing and move the camera around a little bit, so it's like glorified photographs. Me, I'm full on 2-camera with the mic, talking into the mic, describing how the mic sounds, what it does and what its features are. In other words, what my shorts video collection is. If you go to my shorts now, it's all microphone videos, for the most part, like 90% mic videos. That's why. So yeah, Voice of God mics. Got one today. Sennheiser ME66. Beautiful sounding mic. Really sensitive.
Well, Robert, we don't know for sure, but it does seem like, I think this is Guns of Navarone. It does seem like Brian has went to the other side. He hasn't been here in weeks. I think he left all the room. So if you put 2 and 2 together, yeah, he lined up with them. And next, how much of the book did Nathan really write? Funny question, isn't it?
I mean, like I say, I've got hours and hours and hours of footage that's being transcribed by my wife. What does crack me up is there's various different sections where someone like Adam is saying, start the recording, because we're going to be making it for someone else to transcribe it, in this case, my publicist. But I'm just recording the whole time.
Yeah, they never they never stuck with the rule. Always assume Nathan is recording. Yeah? You got to remember those things you said. You will give them fair warning. Can't
Yes.
say they got caught by surprise.
Yeah, I've made that disclaimer many a time with anybody who's new. That's what I do. This is what I do. I'm here to record. If I'm sat in front of this computer, yes, I might be playing a game, because I can play a game over the top of what I'm doing, be it live or when I'm recording. I can still chuck a game of Fortnite on. It's a really powerful PC that took 2 years to get working correctly. Well, now it works correctly. I can stick the Simpsons Battle Royale on, aka Fortnite, and it will work. It will function. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to be broadcasting or not going to be recording. Why else would I be sat in front of this computer? If this computer's not doing recording, it's a TV. And that's it. That's all it's doing. It's either putting out video or taking in video. So this is the only things it does. So if I'm sat here, obviously I'm recording. But that should be bleeding obvious. This is what I do. This is my job. Some people are idiots. Like, maybe if you do something else, like you're a pharmacist or something, you wouldn't appreciate that somebody who's doing recording as their living is going to be recording. Maybe you just don't think about it. I mean, why would you be? I mean, it's not like it's your job or anything. I don't know. Some people are dumb.
Yeah, I understand that Brian's logic is writing a book. Is that right, Neil?
Yeah, he's writing a book. He claims he was writing it before Nathan, which might be true.
Why did you just admit to that? You should have said, I don't know. Because Brian specifically asked you not to tell an audience.
Doesn't matter.
He doesn't want the audience
anymore
to find out that he's writing a book. Why would you do
No,
that?
no. You're wrong, Nathan. He told me it's no problem. He didn't want it to get out, but it got out anyway, months ago. So yeah, he is writing a book.
Okay. I mean, even if somebody's, seemingly betraying you, it doesn't matter. You don't suddenly not stand by all of the things that you've agreed to with that person. That's not how
Yeah, I know.
That's right.
That's not why I'm doing it. He said it was okay. So it's
Fine.
going to be a good book because Brian is, he gets a lot of detail. I can't say he's wrong about anything. Brian, when he has information and was lined up, is ace. It's just he got deceived with this whole thing, but his information is so powerful.
Right, I'm going to do a couple of shout-outs. Shout-out to Arthur, who's on the panel, for joining as a member. Thank you very much. Also, Roger Ledwell. Thank you very much indeed for the super chat. He's gifted memberships. I don't know who he gifted a membership to. Angle of Elevation received it. Thank you very much, both of you. Check out the Uncut and After show. It gets published to members immediately after the recording finishes.
You're welcome, Nathan. But I would like to tell you that I have been a member for 30 months, but there was some problem with my payment, which is why I updated it and it showed it to you.
Fair enough. Thank you. So yeah, anything else that's happened over the weekend that's been exciting? Lists of stuff that we're not allowed to talk about aside? Or maybe we want to get back into that.
Well, just the unfortunate things, like, we only do a show Monday to Friday, right? That's how you run it, which is great. Gives the weekend for family. So, but guys like us that have been in it for a while, we try to go to different platforms to see what's going on. And it's just, no talk about measurements, no talk about proof. Talk about the globe all you want, argue from that standpoint, and everything is good. Seeing too much of this and not seeing enough of that, refraction, all of that is good. So I don't get what's going on.
Hey guys, I seen something on a bloody gem panda thing pops up on YouTube. Not that I'm really interested, but I thought I'd have a quick flick. And there's some guy knocking about called Dr. Shiva or something. Have you heard of him?
We've covered him twice.
He's been... Hey?
I think we've covered him twice. Is he the guy with the ponytail?
Yeah, I think is he Asian guy? No, that's
Blitz. Oh, sorry, I'm thinking of Blitz.
No, we did Shiva too.
Yeah.
We did Shiva. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure I know that name. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, just he's been organising these groups. You might even know this story, but it was just funny because he's organising this story to flat earthers and globers to prove either way which is the Earth flat or a globe by using and adhering to the scientific method. But then there was a clip where Gem Panda was playing it to his panel, and they're introducing the flat earthers, and even the flat earthers are saying, "Yeah, this is the way we need to go with this now." One way of getting to the truth is the scientific method, and we're going to put this forward to prove the shape of the Earth once and for all. I'm just like shaking my head.
Oh wow! Yesterday evening during the dictatorship. That's right. No, dictation, not dictatorship. From my wife, from the transcriptions, right? I'm talking specifically about Spurs chemo. That's the anecdote that's being, talked about during that particular recording. And I'm talking about Spurs wielding a chainsaw by metaphor and chopping his own legs off with the scientific method. Like going around and asking people for their independent variable when there's no claim of science yet. Or in this instance, saying that we're going to use the scientific method to prove a concrete noun, the aspect of the surface. You're like, what? Okay, well, that's one way of letting me know that they definitely don't understand the ins and outs of the scientific method, whoever it was that you're referring to.
Yeah, they're in a category area immediately.
Yep.
But no one's picking up that. Obviously, the flat earthers are, coming out with this nonsense, but even the Gem Panda and his panel, no one's picking up on it and saying, but it's nothing to do with the scientific method. We're talking about, geometry, the measurements of the Earth. This doesn't adhere to that. No one's, let's all use the scientific method. It's just hilarious.
Did you say measurements? Like
exactly.
Mathematics?
Yeah. Measurements.
No, see, you said it right. You said they're not talking about the measurements. And that's the problem. Nobody wants to, because that's a game over scenario.
It's literally a forbidden talking point for them. Just like number 23, elevation profile diagrams is flat Earth proof or are not valid. So they don't even know what elevation is.
Wow. Yeah. We've read that list before. I remember reading from it. It's a joke. Talk about anything else. Talk about, let's prove this with the scientific method once and for all. Yeah, because science proves things. And they want it to be a scientific endeavor, but it's not. It's just about a measurement. And that falls under geometry.
Well, all these big brains from the other server are saying, don't talk about how Earth's measured flat. Let's get the Glober to argue about what causes shadows during eclipses. That's the ticket.
if you think about it, it's pretty sad. After all of these years, this is what's being said.
Yeah, coming up with lists of things that we're not allowed to use in argumentation. It's like, it's not an argument. You either accept that you're measuring the surface level for an angle, or you don't. What's that? You don't like that elevation is directly tied to the surface? Oh, well, then don't use it. What, you don't want me to point out how Earth is flat when you use it? Oh, well. I will be.
And it isn't really. I don't think Neil just said that after all these years, but I don't really think it is after all these years, because even from the very beginning of this movement, right around 2015-16, there has been a resistance towards the use of flat Earth, and that's why we see so many different labels and tags like true earther, real earther, geocentric earther, and all these terminologies have been there since the very beginning. And there has been a resistance to the term flat Earth even before we started asserting it here on FAD that the Earth is measured flat.
I agree, but I'm saying after just about 10 years, we're still trapped. Well, what it is now is they're stuck in a hard place.
Yes, well spotted. The hard place being you want to relinquish the measurements. What they don't. They want one step beyond that. They want to be able to still use the measurements to assert that they're on a ball, but without anybody around them saying, hello, yeah, you're going to need a flat surface level for that angle measurement. Get him out. Ban him. We need to use this flat Earth measurement without anybody mentioning that we need a flat Earth for it, because we're going to turn it into a ball right soon after with a calculation. So shut him up, ban him, get him out.
It is funny that the way they do that now, like triangles do the week when but they're blatantly doing it, aren't they? They're showing you the horizontal line, they're showing you the angle, and then just blatantly saying, well, this is how we need to do it. It just doesn't mean it's a globe. We just need to do it horizontally with an angle.
Yes,
and elevation. But
in so doing, it makes their process cognitively expensive, doesn't it? For next man that's listening, that sees the flat Earth elevation angle they use. Like Simon Dan, measuring Earth flat 1,000 times with elevation angles off the surface level. That's the measurement that all of his participants made. What's that? Yes, we're measuring Earth flat. Yes, the surface level for the elevation angle is flat. It's part of the angle and can't be anything other than a flat Earth prerequisite elevation angle measurement. It's what it is by definition. But that's going to get calculated into a globe afterwards. It doesn't mean it's flat when we need it to be flat. That's quite expensive cognitively. It's also got another title holding two simultaneous things that are in contradiction with one another at the same time. It's called cognitive dissonance. That's what it is. Yeah. For me, just saying, well, it's just a flat Earth measurement. Ban him. Get him out of here. Just pointing out that it's just a flat Earth measurement. That's just outrageous. Unless you're a normie. So there's two groups that can do it. Normies and us. Well, I'm going to make us like normies because cognitively, people want a cheap free ride. They don't want to process much cognitively. So having to process that we measure Earth flat, it's part of the elevation profile, it's part of the elevation angle, it's part of the surface level, it's part of the sea level, it's part of the parallel eye level, it's part of the perpendicular height. But so long as you don't point out that Earth is flat because it's flat afterwards, we don't need to. It just is flat. Earth, that is. For me and the normies.
Thing is, though, like you said it before, they've always done this. But only recently we're noticing they're doing it. Now we can point it out, but they've probably always done this, like showing you the horizontal lines and mentioned angles, and when describing Al-Biruni and Eratosthenes, they've always done it and demonstrated it. But now we're saying, well, no, that's an angle, that's an elevation angle, that's horizontal. You're talking about sea level, yeah, and altitude, height above it. So we're just like proper all over it now. Where probably one point we wasn't.
It's funny. Everything you just said is on that list that you're not supposed to say.
Yeah, I mean, go back to the pre-show for my analogy about the best American football player, or in our case, it'd be a rugby player that exists, and he's tiny. He's like this 5'6" whippet. But it doesn't seem to matter what the giant monstrosity of opponent players put up against this little whippet. he pulls their pants down and gets them on the ground. Metaphorically speaking, he brings them down every single time with his tackles. So the opponents say, you know, that guy, the tackles he used, let's ban the style of tackle because he's weak. Look, he's only 5'6". He's weak. So we shouldn't allow him to use his tackle. Very funny, very amusing. Very, I couldn't give a crap. What's that? You think because you've told me on a list that I'm not allowed to say it, it just means I'll get banned from that server? Oh, all right, okay. So what, in your little dictatorship where you get to use flat Earth measurements and we don't get to point it out, we get banned for pointing it out? Okay, well, that's fine by me. No worries. I'll still be here pointing out, well, it's just an angle off the surface level. It's called an elevation angle. What's that? It's just a horizontal linear flat Earth distance measurement that can only be acquired if Earth's flat. What's that? I'm not allowed to say the final bit about can only be acquired if Earth's flat bit. I'm not allowed to say that. I'm just allowed to measure horizontal linear distances and then apply them to a ball with a calculation that won't ascribe a surface level measurement in a linear fashion to it because it's ball shaped. You want the contradiction in terms without me pointing out the flat Earth measurement. Oh. Yeah, get lost. I'll do whatever the damn well please. You don't like it, you don't have to. I'll still be here pointing out how flat Earth gets measured every single time by everyone and without exception. What's on a list? Oh no, not the list! Oh no, not the list.
The problem I had in there when I had the run-in with AI was I was typically saying to people when they was trying to tell me how Earth curve was measured and they was using the words horizontal, my reply would be, you can't use that word. Horizontal's got nothing to do with measuring Earth curvature. On one particular time, I didn't quite say it correctly. I said horizontal's got nothing to do with curvature. And then somebody jumped in, you know what I mean, saying you can't say that. That horizontal's got nothing to do with curvature because it can have. And giving me examples of a horizontal line with a dingleberry underneath, and you can measure distances from the horizontal underneath the horizontal line down to curvature and work out a drop over a distance. But my point was, it was a slip of the tongue. You know exactly what I was saying of this particular instance. I didn't say you can't use that word when describing how Earth curve is measured. That you know exactly what I was saying. It was just I left a word out or two.
Oh, they love telling you that you're not allowed to use your favourite tackle. I mean, that wouldn't make the game fair for them, would it? If you're tackling them and bringing them down. It's been an emotional day. Anything anybody needs to add? We've come to the end of the hour, Neil. What's up?
I was going to add, I've said this many times, and this time for real, we're all alone here on FED.
No, we're all in each other's company. It's all good. I'm happy. Do you want the West? If the rest of the world knew what we knew, life wouldn't be very interesting, would it, Neil?
No, but as far as the way this topic is going, we're all alone.
I don't know.
Nobody's saying what we say.
We'll have to agree to disagree, as they say. But with that, I'm going to say, if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Programming streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow.
Again, who is putting this list out and what the list is supposedly saying? From what I get, and actually, just tell me if I'm right. These are real flat earthers or alleged flat earthers who are saying that other flat earthers should not make these arguments on this list because these arguments suck.
In that vein, I've got a list of flat earthers that should come and paint my house.
But was I right? Is that assessment true? So I can think of these in context.
Yes, yeah, you're correct.
Because it sounds like an anti-flat earther flip, and it's trying to figure out who's saying what to whom. And
well, I'm just speaking for myself, mate, and I got him because I mean, I don't know, maybe, I mean, I'm not putting myself back. I mean, but if somebody's going to be using them words when describing how Earth curves measured, I was cutting them off quite quickly and stopping them, because that's what I was doing. I'm not going to let him continue to explain to me how they're going to be making this elevation angle measurement when they're measuring Earth curvature, because they won't be doing that. So I stopped them in the tracks. So it was preventing there was no conversation really, because I just stopped him like you'd stop someone when they're begging the question, like we do. Same similar thing. But so it was frowned upon, because I wasn't giving the person a chance to really speak for 2 or 3 minutes and then pointing it out. I was being quite quick, and I could have been coming across a little bit like, shut up, you're not using that word type of thing. But I mean, that's just the way I was dealing with it at the time.
Yeah.
You be you.
It's like when you sack the quarterback and they get upset. Well, you didn't let him make his pass, so it may have been a touchdown.
Yeah, you got it.
Away, so.
Yeah, don't sack the quarterback. We lose really quickly. Don't do that.
And may I answer the question of Surf Daddy? You're completely right. And I got immediately permabanned. At the end, when I called out that person who's putting the list out, I called him out to be an agent, because I couldn't see it otherwise. To look at it logically, I told DJ he should go and tell him to come and debunk me and rebuttal me, that I'm calling him out and I'm calling him an agent and not a real flat earther. And they banned me, perma-banned me.
It happens. But the disclaimer at the top of the list says, attention flat earthers. Help me make a longer list of bad/misused flat earth arguments, and then elevation angles, flat horizon at 120,000 feet. Now, some of them I agree with. Like a rainbow proving the firmament. Yeah, I get that. Pitch data.
No, pitch data is not. It's not raw data. What's wrong with you?
Sure, whatever.
Pitch data is not raw data. What's wrong with you?
Say that again, Neil.
It's not raw data. Goes to an algorithm. Therefore, bad.
Yeah. What was that one thing that Berserker said? What was it you said, buddy? Like the lack of curvature doesn't mean that the Earth's not a ball or something that they got upset with you about?
Yeah, I have the screenshots here. It's number 43. He's saying, how about this new one for the list in consideration of AI's point? Number 43, within 1 hour from 31 to 43. The absence of curvature evidence is often given as a positive claim for flat Earth is a shitty argument.
Yeah. So the lack of silver paint on a car means you can't say the car's not silver. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Okay.
So when a line is not curving, I should not be allowed to say that it is level, horizontal, or flat. Get real.
If you just stick to the real measurements, the latitude measurements, sea level, there is no argument, is there? It's not a point of what's a good argument. But just use the measurements for evidence. The correct, like your latitude, you can use celestial navigation, pointing out sea level. You get the Earth curve calculator out. Let's have a look at that.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
If they're going to do it proactively and bring it out, then fine, I'll go and point out how they need a flat Earth in their calculator that they've proactively brought up to suggest that their belief is true. But I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be going to their Earth curve calculator. That's the game. That's the magic trick. Make flat earthers go to the Earth curve calculator to make their assertion that Earth's flat. It's like, no, it's an Earth curve calculator. The game's rigged when you're doing that. Saying we see too far? Too far? What do you mean too far? What, further than the Earth curve should be? Oh, so you as a flatty are telling us where Earth curve should be? Doesn't that seem insane? When there's a flat Earth measurement in the calculation that you didn't need to bring up. You could have just said miles are flat. And then just that would be it. That would be the end of the discussion. Yeah, it is. That is the end of the discussion. That's correct.
Yeah, it's the measurement's flat. That's what I keep saying. It's called the Earth Curve Calculator for a reason. It's calculating. That's exactly what it's doing.
Miles are flat. You sound like a fundy, Nathan.
I've just got this map in front of me. It's got this scale on it with maps written, with miles written on it, Neil. Am I a fundy? I just fancied a bit of orienteering. I mean, what's the problem? Yeah, we just need to figure out. We don't need to fight very hard. When you know why and how you've won and how Earth is measured flat, you don't need to fight very hard. You can just laugh in their face, and then they have to come up with lists of words you can't use. Yeah, so in other words, the egregious level of censorship is so overt that they can come up with lists of things you can't say. Oh, really? I'm just going to stick with miles are flat. Well, you don't like that? Don't use a map then. Ever. I don't care if you don't do that. I'm not telling you not to use maps. It's silly. But miles are flat. You don't have to like it.
What's that guy's name again? Adam Markin? Hold on. What was his name again? Adam Markin?
I can't remember. By Christmas, everyone will forgot his first name too.
He says, say a miles flat. It sounds like a fundy. You got to take him through. You got to educate him. Why are miles flat, Nathan?
What show number was that?
You can't say standard units only work on a flat Earth. That's number 26.
Was it 24? Are we on 2433? Is that the name of the number of the show? Yes, it was.
I got 2432, but
that was Friday.
Today's was 2434.
That can't be right, can it? I've just not updated the thumbnail for 3 shows. I'll have to look it up. Ugh.
I did notice that. The map guy in all 3.
So it's 34 then, 2434. Okay. Thank you.
Don't know if was it an issue with the mapping guide video or something?
No, I just haven't made any new thumbnails in 3 days because just lack of time. Anyway, today's getting a new thumbnail.
Yeah, but I think Divergent Droid got in touch with him. He answered his comments. I think he was saying something that Nathan don't understand.
I wrote it down. Nathan doesn't understand. Fantastic rebuttal.
But wasn't the thing where he said he'd not replied or something, and it was something to do with YouTube, or was I couldn't get the story. Or is it nothing to talk about?
Say that again, Neil. Divergent Droid said that?
I think the map guy said that.
Yeah, I think Divergent Droid is a mod on the YouTube stream of FUD, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he got a message back when he left a comment.
What didn't Nathan understand? That he was he had trigs, triangulating trigs with horizontal baselines across a region, and was using sea level and the levelness of the trig point for leveling a theodolite to measure elevation angles off.
Because it's a globe.
He didn't say that. He just said, I don't understand. He didn't say because it's a globe when he measures it flat.
That's why. Come on. because he's got to turn it into a globe, and that's where you're not going to understand how it's done.
You watch how quickly he stops sniffing his own farts and seeming quite so happy and smug when he's got a load of anti-flat earthers telling him, you need to explain how this flat earth measurement means it's not flat. You need to do that for your audience. Can you put it in your comment section? Can your info box explain it? Yeah, he'll start looking quite so smug, won't he, in his future videos? Now, that's not my fault. I'm not telling him not to do anything. I said thank you and sent audience members to him, didn't I? He got extra comments out of me. Yeah? What's that? But he's so rude as to say I don't understand. Fuck you, smug twat. That's my response when someone says something like that to me. I do fucking understand English. Like you were speaking when you talked about how flat you measured Earth. Tell me I don't understand. You need a fucking slap. Cheeky fart-sniffing smug wanker. Yeah? Now see how smug you are when everyone's telling you need to explain how ball-shaped it ain't when you're measuring it flat. And you haven't done that, so you failed all the anti-flatties. Me, I just don't like being insulted when someone tells me I don't understand. Fucking English. Yeah, I do.
I mean, he's got. I was going to say, it'd be nice if he'd come back and explained how he was. It was nothing to do with measuring Earth flat, but he can't really do that, can he?
We'll cover a few more of his videos.
Well, that means he watched the whole video. Sorry. What I was going to say is for him to say something like Nathan don't understand, that means he watched the video, Nathan.
Don't understand what? He went through it, we listened, we covered it. It's nothing to understand beyond his use and comprehension of the English language that he disseminated quite effectively for us to go through. If you're saying he didn't include the anti-flat earth sentiment, that even though we're measuring it flat, it doesn't mean it's flat, yeah, he can moan at the people demanding that of him. I wasn't, was I?
No, but at least he watched the video. For him to make that statement, that means he had to watch the video, and he probably got annoyed at some of the things that he himself was demonstrating that we highlighted, and he got a little bit annoyed and said, you just don't understand how spherical it is.
It was just easier to use the horizontal baseline and, extend them trigs out into triangles across a massive region with one constant baseline at sea level. It was just easier to do it that way on the curve.
Exactly.
No, it's just easier to say you don't understand than proving how it is a ball.
Was this map guy? I missed a little bit. Was this the map guy that you did, and he was doing his total station stuff?
Yeah.
And he replied. So
yes, he replied.
I think this is
Virgin Droid.
So he got people that told him he was measuring the Earth flat in his comments.
Oh, you have to ask that Virgin Droid what he said, but I think he just said, what Nathan instructed us to say. Leave a polite comment that, hey, we checked out your video. So I'm assuming that he checked out the video response Nathan made and came to the conclusion that Nathan just don't understand. It's easy to do it flat. I mean, how do you expect them to measure off a ball? Come on. How do you expect them to get these what do you call it again? These surveys on a globe. It's easy to do it flat.
Well, it's just how they do it, and there's such complicated stuff to it. You're obviously not a surveyor, and you just don't know. You just don't know what would go through to measure the Earth round. Well, I thought
that's not fallacious at all.
I thought, which I still think is going to happen a lot more, is that anti-flat earthers are going to start going to comment sections and pointing out that, did you know that flat earthers are saying that your stuff is measuring the Earth flat? You better do something about this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Watch how someone who's so smug with themselves, he looked like he was really happy describing how flat Earth gets measured with his trig points. Suddenly, the sniffing of their own farts isn't so joyful anymore because the load of anti-flat Earth wankers come and say, you need to point out how Earth's a ball at the end of this stuff. In future videos, don't just say, I measure Earth flat. Say, I measure Earth flat because it's a fucking big ball. Get on with it. In fact, you need to go back through your catalogue and add to all of your comment section and info sections that it's really a ball. On top of the video that he made 5 years ago where you measured Earth flat, you need to tell him in the info box that it's a ball. Get on with it. Yeah, you see how quickly he'll wipe the smug smile off his face. Like life isn't so much fun anymore. You're not just measuring Earth flat. Why should you get away with that? I'm being told with lists that you're not allowed to do that, right? Yeah, well, Normie seems to get away with it with smarmy, smelling his own fart face. What? It's only us that's allowed the ridicule. No. Normies, if they measure Earth flat, which is everyone always, suddenly can get told that they're not allowed to do stuff by anti-flatties. It won't last very long. Most people will tell them to go fuck themselves.
You know what? I wonder if people like professional guys like him. I would love to know if people like him know that there's definitions out there, and there's more and more of them every day, that contradict themselves. Webster's dictionary, we all know the one. Level, it means parallel to the curved surface of the earth, and having no part higher or lower than the other. I wonder if guys like him, who are just doing their job, and you're right, that was a great video to look at. He was happy. He was telling us how he does stuff. He's one of those guys that the anti-flat earthers say, well, you're not a surveyor. Why don't you ask a surveyor? You know? And he was just, it's like Mr. Rogers, man. Here's how we measure our elevation angles. Can you say elevation? And that was great. I don't think people like him know that the Internet of Everything is changing definitions slowly to kind of counteract the number of people who are just finding out that, level means level, and that's how we measure stuff. And, they have to go to definitions to slowly change people's minds. I don't know. I don't think he knows that stuff. And once those people start realizing, good grief, level doesn't mean level. Level doesn't mean curve. That's dumb. Hopefully more and more people will start turning. There'll be a tipping point.
Who's that? Price of Adam on the panel?
Daddy.
Hey.
Go ahead.
How are you, Adam? Welcome back.
Hey, thank you. How are you guys doing?
He's always in the chat, by the way. It's not that he's gone away. The price of Adam is Ace. He's always in the chat, but he's joining us again on Teams. Well done.
I added some approving silence.
Just in case anybody doesn't know what's happening, right?
That was kind of got me mad, to be honest.
Sorry, Adam.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, this is what winning looks like, right? When you win, the other team gets stroppy because there's got to be a loser for there to be a winner. And in this instance, if you're looking at who's the winner and who's the loser, well, in an arena where we're arguing about the nature of the topology of Earth and how it's measured flat. So there's a winner, us, and there's a loser, the Globers, as they used to be formerly known as before they were called anti-flatties. Normies are going to get dragged into this now that we have won. Now, winning doesn't always end in the prom queen shagging you. It often results in the opponent wanting to bloody your nose because they've lost. That's what we're experiencing. Now, the egregious censorship where you're not allowed here at all, you're not allowed to use these words, you're not allowed to say these things. Yeah. That's the hallmark of losers. That's what losers do. Now, understand that that's all winning looks like. It's not as glorious as it's made out to be in the movies. Now, I've won court battles, and what happens after you win? Your opponent comes back at you, wanting to make it look like you've lost when you've won. Yeah, in other words, the game is carried on by your opponent. They can't face losing. They want to make it seem like they haven't lost, like the game continues when the whistle has blown. But the whistle has blown. Earth's measured flat. This is just what winning looks like in reality. I'm done.
And it really was not a win-lose. It was just we're pointing out reality. So I guess in that way of looking at it, yeah, we win because we're pointing out reality.
This got me kind of annoyed because like some of them, I understand why you'd say, you know, it's a bad argument, but it really, to me, looks like something that like you shouldn't use it if you're not a good flat earther yet. You know what I mean? You shouldn't use it if you don't know how to use it. But like, it doesn't take that much mental stretching to get to the flat part from any of the stuff that I see on this list. It kind of annoyed me.
Yeah, I mean, it's very simple. And that's why a lot of people feel it can't be correct because it's not that simple. Same with the gospel of salvation. If you're a Christian, too simple. Christ died for my sins, so that's it. I'm covered. No, there's got to be more to it than that. Got to keep the Sabbath. I got to keep the holy days. I got to keep a rigid look at the law. I got to do this. I got to do that, and I got to do the other thing. No, it's as simple as that. Same thing with flat Earth. It's as simple as the measurements. The measurements show Earth is measured flat. You can't get the measurements from a curved surface. So, good night. See you later. The game is over, which never was a game anyway.
Once you realize they'll never get off that horizontal plane that the observer's standing on, you know, that's that parallel horizontal level that's parallel with surface level and sea level and eye level, and where do you go from there, from the slope of zero, that if it ever did slope, it would just not be what it's supposed to be? I guess, yeah,
Those are imaginary
winning isn't
lines.
the answer because. Go ahead.
Sorry, I thought you were done. So those are imaginary lines. You know, I found one elevation angle definition that says on the Earth the observer is standing on. I like that one.
They all say that.
I don't know what they get it with the horizontal plane. They play with that one. But when it says the Earth that the person is standing on, let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, but they're all parallel to each other. The horizontal plane's parallel to eye level, and the horizontal plane is parallel to the surface, which is the horizontal plane.
Yeah, we get it. We get it a million times over. But when they say it's not the ground, and this freaking citation or definition is saying the Earth that the observer is standing on, how can you say not the ground now?
It's probably on the list somewhere. It's probably number 12 or something.
They go down that route, but at the end of the day, it's an elevation angle, whether you're using a bubble sextant or what. You're not, curvature's not involved, is it? But they're fighting for the fact that it's not on the ground. Well, we're not measuring curvature anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
But the rebuttal is elevation profile diagrams as a flat Earth proof is not valid. Number 23.
Elevation profile? Seriously?
Hold on. Listen to this one.
Yeah,
right.
That's strong. That's heavy.
This is the observer's eye level horizontal line of sight of the ground. So exactly what you're saying.
No, Neil, it's on the list. What are you doing, Neil? Do you not obey the list? Do you not understand the list has got control over you? What's wrong with you, man?
Who wrote the list? I mean, I must have missed this list. Who wrote this list?
First, without elevation profiles.
I love a good list because you can laugh at it. You can read it out and then laugh at it and then continue to talk about how flat Earth gets measured and watch a load of people with their lists get triggered, start waving their lists in the air at you. You can laugh in their face while they clutch their list like it has some power. Oh, your list doesn't have any power. It's not a sword. It's not going to chop my... No, it's just a list. What's that? It's a list of things you don't like that we win with. It's like our winning list. Don't go through the winning list. We'll just relabel your list as list of things that make the argument end, a.k.a. make Flat Earth win. Yeah, thanks for putting it in a list. Really handy. Just change the title and it becomes our winning list, doesn't it?
How would elevation profile be a bad argument? Or
it's not an argument. It's just how you measure things with respect to the sea level. How high or low the surface level is compared to another area of surface level and the height thereof. What's that? But if you say that, it means Earth's flat. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? What, so we can't talk about it? Fuck off. Take that list and shove it up your rectum. That's what you can do with your list while I laugh at you.
The first known list of the angle of elevation was in 1686.
There's a lot of
another one off that list.
No true surveyor uses angles of elevation.
What about the guy in 1686?
You know those tools they use for measure? They don't exist. Ignore those tools, right? You see, next time you see a guy with one of those yellow lanterns on the road, take it off him. So you do realise what you're doing. It's on the list. Smash it to pieces.
Hold on a second. Then how come the first known use of angle of elevation was in 1686, and now in 2026 in a couple of months?
Neil, come on, Neil, to the DeLorean. Let's get him.
What's a good argument then? What should we be arguing about?
Well, that's the thing. They want an argument, and this ain't one. This ain't an argument. This is an ending.
Yeah. Let's not use these facts and factual points. Let's use argumentation that isn't pointing out these points.
Exactly.
Then we can keep arguing.
Right. Keep it alive. Keep it going. Meanwhile, we're just spitting facts.
Yeah, boy.
Guys, after they banned me, I DM'd a couple of them. This clip, I clipped Nathan a couple of days ago, or I think it was 1 week ago. And I DM'd this.
Sorry, let me get it straight. You think you can draw a circle? That's two-dimensional. Of equal elevation, that means same elevation everywhere. On a ball? No, you're a retard. You don't understand what a circle is. It's two-dimensional. Unlike your stupid curved ball surface that curves in all directions from all points. In models that were created with flat Earth elevation angle measurements to Polaris to derive radial values that are also flat Earth circles of equal elevation, you can convert those flat Earth circles of equal elevation, areas of equal altitude, into a spherical radius. That's what you can do after measuring Earth flat. What you can't do is say, look, I can plot an area, that's a circle, of equal altitude, equal elevation, on a ball. No, you cannot. Moron. Don't you understand what a ball is? It has no areas of two-dimensionality, no flat surfaces, no areas of equal altitude. Meanwhile, the angle measurement itself requires surface level be measured. It's part of the angle. And if it isn't a level surface, it isn't an angle. You get it, you stupid idiots on the ball side. Earth's measured flat. That was a very, very handsome sounding man.
They couldn't say
I thought
anything.
Nathan was using one of his new microphones for a second. I'm like, ooh, that one's not so
wait,
good.
wait a second. Nathan wasn't playing that?
Yeah.
I need that clipped out just the way it is. Well, I'm going to have it on the show, so I don't need it.
Just listen to any show, any day.
I can DM it to you.
That's what I say on all the shows.
Yeah, but that was so concise just now, right there. That was beautiful.
yeah. That's why I clipped it, and I DM'd it to them after they banned me.
Oh, you sent that to some of the guys from 24/7?
Yeah, I DM'd it. I DM'd it to them. I DM'd it to the guys who banned me.
I remember Nathan got brought up one time about 6 months ago in that server, like just random, like just small talking, and Nathan's show got brought up, and they like, what? It was kind of funny. They're like, we don't talk about flat earth celebrities here. We're not talking about the Kardashians or Nathan Oakley. I'm like, oh, that's really. They compare Nathan Oakley to the Kardashians.
I'm far more famous than the Kardashians.
So that's what it is too. I knew it. It's just jealousy. I've been saying it for the longest time. Envious, jealous. You know, hey, listen, but we were running the show from there, right? And they decided that Nathan, not AI, was the racist. Wanted this total freaking projection.
I'm surprised. I mean, I've been in there when I used to go in, and Jedi, he'll use the elevation angle / navigation argument, not an argument, facts that it's utilizing Earth to measure it flat. So I don't know. There's some of the guys that were quite good at doing that. But Jedi was one of them.
His name was Jedi. Yep. Let's get him.
Hey.
Yeah, that was my issue with Jedi. When I was having issues with AV over there, precisely about how you derive your latitude, I got really upset because I know for a fact Jedi knows and 100% agrees with everything I was saying, but he was too afraid to speak up, and I lost a lot of respect for him. Like, really? So you're just going to pretend like you... Yeah, you can't say it's not the case. Yes, it is. That's why I was getting so heated with Eli, because everything I was saying about them over there being a bunch of weirdos is 100% true, and he was gaslighting everyone into me being a liar. That pissed me off.
Eli maybe, but Jedi, that's not the reason why. Jedi
didn't speak up. Because even Jedi goes, okay, fine, I'll grant it to you. A circle of equal elevation is a circle. I'm like, okay. And then when I started being told to prove circles of equal elevations are circles, the dude stayed silent and didn't, like, come on, Jedi, you know what's up. Hey, it's whatever. I don't even care. I don't go, like, I'm banned from all them anyway, so I don't have access to them anymore. But it's whatever.
But wasn't the arguing that an elevation angle? You can't say an elevation angle. A latitude is circular. That was their argument, wasn't it?
More or less.
It's just an elevation angle. You can't say it's a circle. Like you use a circle.
Yeah, but your elevation angle to Polaris will determine your circle of equal altitude, and that determines your latitude.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not fighting for it. I'm just saying. I was just trying to get into my head what the actual point is. Have they got a point about anything? If you take you can take one reading from Polaris, can't you, and get your latitude?
Yeah.
And then you can go somewhere else and take a reading and get another angle measurement and get your latitude. You're not drawing a circle, are you?
I'm going to give you what it is. Whatever's said over here, just say the opposite. If it wasn't being punted over here, if it was punted somewhere else, like from Wixit maybe, then they would promote it. But because it's coming from FED, no good.
That's how it feels.
And it's not that they even have a point. They just have a lack of understanding of what angle measurements to luminaries are, and what you do with them, and how you put them on charts. Understand. Huh? Some do. Some no. Some the Jedi absolutely does. AV absolutely did not. He had no idea. You know, when you
Yeah,
get your
but there was
zenith
one time
distance,
I
you know,
went
if
in
you
there.
take
There was one time I went in there when AV was in there. They were back and forth, this, that, and the other thing. And the guy said, well, how do you know it's flat? And I just piped up. I said, because it's measured that way. And AV agreed with me. Now, I just found out that AV was Meggy, which I was kind of putting two and two together because the prick robbed me for $1,000.
Oh, yeah. That's unfortunate. Yeah, but that just shows, I mean, it's called being a liar, right? Oh, yeah, Neil, you're right. You're correct. And then someone else says the exact same thing a day later. No, fuck him. He's wrong. Like, okay, so where's your standards, dude?
Let me clear it. He didn't actually take 1,000 from me. We went on an endeavor together, and they were supposed to be giving us updates on this certain thing. And I was the only one left in the dark. When everybody sold and got out, nobody told me. And that was his responsibility.
Yeah, everybody pumped and dumped and left you holding the bag. That's bullshit.
How can I trust somebody like that?
You can't. Simply enough. Trust has been proven that it means nothing to them.
They were trustworthy, and they were right there when I had the money and I was going in and buying it. They were all helpful, every one of them.
Yeah, that's what spammers do. They give you the illusion of trust and then pull the rug out from under you.
I want to get you off your knees. A guy your age should be working that hard. This is for the community. And once you get this, you can move on and get other people involved. We're going to set up a room where we'll all meet in that room so we can keep up to date of what's going on. Every time I went in that freaking room, there was nobody there. But what happened? I forgot about it. I said, all right, if anything, it's just going to, when it does hit, they'll let me know and, make some money. And I finally asked Chocolate one day. He said, what? The Fed? Wow, we sold that. We sold that. That went down, so we all got out. I was like, well, when was somebody going to tell me that?
Fuck it, they don't care. I don't mean to be so crass about it, but they didn't care whether you lost out or not. I mean, clearly you weren't important enough for them to mention it to you. Hey, we're getting out of it, so why don't you get out of it with us?
And it's not like they didn't know where to find me. You know what it is? It's not like they didn't know where to find me. I'm here every day. You could pop in and say, yo, meet me in a room. I got to talk to you about something. No problem. Now, me, if this is the way I roll, if I put you onto something and I see that ain't working out, I come to you right away. Listen, we got to get out of this. Cut your losses now so you don't lose the whole G. Maybe you make 800 or 700, you get back, but at least you're not losing the whole thing. That's how I would be, like, especially if I'm promoting something. Come on.
Well, yeah, you're not a total scumbag. So, I mean, yeah, of course.
Is it my cue to round out?
No, we can still talk about the things that happened. See, I went in there to various points in the during the day over the weekend to see what was going on. Are people catching on? Are people going directly to measurements? And I was stunned to find out that there's no talk of measurement at all. At all. To the point where even the Globus said to them, what curve are you talking about? Because they was telling them that this should be hidden behind the curve, and it's not. Therefore, it's not a globe. And the guy was like, what do you keep saying curve? What curve? A globe is saying this. That's not enough to wake you up. Like, hello, the argumentation is flawed.
It's number 23, Neil.
Crazy.
Right, I'm going to round out though. So with that, I'm going to say another huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G Plus panels for making today's after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member. Hit me up on PayPal and Patreon and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley and I will see you all in the next video.